in today's session, we're going to look at Microsoft Teams and what kind of privacy settings are we in control of. We're just having a look at the Microsoft privacy and security commitment when using Microsoft Teams. So you're not going to get any adverts. Your data will be deleted when your subscription expires. And as a Teams user, you will always have access to your own personal data. On this web page, what type of personal data will be held by Microsoft? So your meetings, your chats and conversations, also your profile data, and also a history of all the calls that you've made and received using Microsoft Teams. We just want to have a look at how long Microsoft actually hold our data for. If the user or an administrator deletes the data, then Microsoft will ensure that all copies are deleted within 30 days. And if you're a company and you terminate your subscription with Microsoft, then all data will be removed between 90 and 180 days. So now that we've seen how Microsoft handle our personal data, let's jump into Microsoft Teams and have a look at one or two settings that we might have control over. So you may or may not have permissions to create a team in your organization. But what I'm going to show you here is that when it comes to your team and the privacy, it's going to be one of three levels. Let's take a look at the private teams. So private teams are permission based. So normally this would be an entire department within your organization. And if somebody else did a search for your team, they wouldn't be able to find it. So only team owners can add new members. Public teams, on the other hand, are searchable in Microsoft Teams. Anybody in the organization could join that team. There's no approval required from a team owner. And basically, if somebody joined that team, they'd be able to see all of the data, all of the shared files, all of the chat history. And if you're going to be sharing sensitive data, then you probably don't want to choose a public team. And then an org-wide team, everybody in the organization will automatically become a member of an org-wide team. And I would probably recommend, if you're going to use this, that you set it up so that only team owners can post messages. And you probably also want to have your channels moderated. Otherwise, it could be mayhem in there. Now, if you're already an owner of a team and you just want to check the privacy level of that team, you can click on the three dots up here. You can go to Edit Team. And then if you look at the sensitivity label drop down, we're back to some familiar options. Now, we did cover these on one of my other videos, but essentially these are the options that were chosen when the team was created. And if you're a team owner, you could go in and change the sensitivity to none, and then maybe change the team from a public team to a private team, and vice versa. So those are some of the privacy settings that can be set by your administrator that will affect the entire team. Now let's take a look at some of the privacy settings that you can choose as an individual user. Let's go to Settings, and in the General tab, I actually consider these to be privacy settings myself. So the first one is the Auto Start Application. I know some people find this annoying. Take that tick off. Next time you log into Windows, Teams will not start automatically. And also this tick box here. So as we all know, when you close down Teams, it minimizes itself and keeps running in the background in your taskbar. Well, if you take that tick off, restart Teams, problem solved. So there's a couple more things that I want to look at. I'm going to go up here and click on the Privacy tab. And if we think of setting ourselves to do not disturb, then what about your colleagues whom you still want to be able to get through to you in an emergency? If that's the case, you need to click the button called Manage Priority Access. And in here is where you're going to type the names of colleagues who can still get through to you when you set your status to do not disturb. So I'm just going to do a search for my normal user. I'm going to click on normal user and it's done. Still thinking about our personal privacy, you might want to think about read receipts. Very similar to how they work in Microsoft Office. Basically, if somebody sends you a message on Teams, they will get an indication as to whether you've read the message or not. So depending on how you want to work, you can switch this option on or off. And then finally, let's look at the notifications. Now, some of these I still consider to be privacy settings. The missed activity calls. You know, when you come back from lunch and your Outlook inbox is full, and a lot of those emails are missed calls, missed chat messages that happened in Microsoft Teams. So this is where you can control how often you get those emails, if at all. And also things like show the message preview. Do you want a sound to be playing every time you get a notification? Ladies and gentlemen, today was all about privacy levels in Microsoft Teams, and we have come to the end.